you've got things going on in your life that are on your mind, you're not going to produce well at work because you've got this distraction. We're learning that as we invest in our people and allow them to express those things that are going on in their life, they're able to now keep the connection and still do a wonderful job at work because they know that what they're carrying on their shoulders, we're going to walk alongside them.
Welcome to another episode of Lead with Culture. I am so excited because it's another Dream Manager episode where you get to hear from one of our incredible certified Dream Managers. I am joined today by Toni Young, Director of Care and Outreach at Expo Home Improvement. Toni, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me, Kate. I'm very excited.
This is going to be such a fun conversation because you were meant to be a dream manager. It's just like in you. I remember when you came to certification and I was like, oh, yes. Yep. Toni is in the perfect role. So why don't you share with us a little bit about Expo Home Improvement and tell us a little bit about what you do and how many employees you have?
Sure. So I started with Expo about 12 and a half years ago. And when I first started with them, the owner of the company, Paul Dietzler, had just purchased a window company, and he wanted to start a bath business. And he heard about me through a plumber, of all things, and we got to meet, and he said, if you'd fold up your company, because I did remodeling, and start my bath business, I think this could be a great adventure. So sure enough, here I am 12 and a half years later, still working with Paul. And I'll tell you what, though, Kate, it's been an amazing journey. You know, my role was not Director of Care and Outreach at the time. I actually came on as the bath install manager, and I started the bath business for him. So as we go through the years, my position changed to Director of Operations, where I ran the business for both baths and windows. And then a couple of years ago, Paul and our VP of the organization contacted me and said, we want to sit down. We think we have an offer we'd like to make you. And so Paul had read the Dream Manager book and just loved it. And he had all of us leaders read it. And I looked at him and I said, I can do that. And so going forward, they sat down with me one weekend and said, Toni, we would like to promote you to Director of Care and Outreach and become a certified Dream Manager. So it was like, Kate, that's like a dream come true.
I know, right? The best title, so incredible. And it's awesome to see when, you've been there 12 and a half years. That is not typical, especially today, right? People do not stay at an organization. And so right from the start, it's clear you guys have a great culture over there. Like, what makes it so special?
Oh, gosh. You know, we've always believed that our people are more than just people, right? They're not just your employee. And so all along throughout the period of time that we were growing the company, culture was a very big part of us. We wanted to make sure that our people felt welcome, that they felt valued, that when they came in, they were plugged in right away so that they felt like part of the family. The Dream Manager program is just sort of, I think of it like the icing on the cake. With this program, we get to now pour into our people, not just on the professional side, but now we've opened up that whole door for them to come in and be a person and to be able to be the person that they were meant to be and not just, here comes, I'm going in to work my 9-to-5 job, leave your personal stuff at home, because we all know, Kate, right? That's impossible to do. You've got things going on in your life that are on your mind, you're not going to produce well at work because you've got this distraction. We're learning that as we invest in our people and allow them to express those things that are going on in their life, they're able to now keep the connection and still do a wonderful job at work because they know that what they're carrying on their shoulders, we're going to walk alongside them.
Yeah. And it sounds like Paul and the leadership team had that mentality already. So this was just a beautiful fit. The Dream Manager is a beautiful fit for leaders who you care about your people and you're just looking for these types of opportunities to implement. And so you came and you got certified. when it came to certification, what did you think when you came? Like, did you know what to expect and kind of
No.
got everything right? Like you come in and you're like, what is this?
Yeah.
What does being a dream manager mean? So tell us a little bit about that experience.
Exactly. Well, I'll tell you, it's funny because my family, I've got one daughter who is now working at this company as well. And my husband, they both, and her husband, both sort of gave me a bad time and said, okay, what is this dream manager? And my daughter, Nicole, said, is that like a make-believe title? Like who is a dream manager? And so when I came to train, I came at it with a really open mind. I knew that this was something that I could grasp onto. And I really felt like it was a purpose. It was a calling in my life, Kate. I'm not ashamed to say that, right? Because we're all looking for the purpose of our lives. And this has just given me the opportunity. My passion is with people. And so when I was in that class learning about the Dream Manager program, it was like, I can do this. I can do this, and it'll make a difference.
Yeah. One of the things that we often hear from people that come is the simplicity of it. Like people get concerned that, especially when you have a big company. I mean, you guys have about 300 team members right now. So when you're rolling out a new initiative, it has to be simple, right? Like if it's not simple, it's not going to get done. And Matthew intentionally made it a very simple turnkey program that people like you can easily learn how to do this and then bring it back to your organization. So let's talk a little. So you got certified, you went back, you were jazzed up, so excited. And tell us a little bit about how did you roll the program out? How did you explain to your team members, what even is this? Like, you actually care about me and my dreams? Like, what is a dream manager? So how did that all play out?
So when I came back, first thing I did is I put together a PowerPoint presentation because one of the things that I was thinking of is that the leadership needs to buy into this, right? Your leadership needs to embrace it so that they can support it and encourage their team members to join the program. So I put together a PowerPoint and I actually took all of our leaders through a dream storm and we had a blast. It was, of course, they're first sitting there saying, oh, come on, really, Toni? And it's like, okay, come on, let's go. Let's go. Pour it out of your head. Let's do some possibility thinking. And having the enthusiasm behind it and showing them that it can be fun, but it can also be impactful, I think was really what the point that I was trying to make to them. And after the presentation, each one of them, had their list of dreams and said, this is really something. And so at that point, I knew that they were going to support me. And then I started rolling it out in the organization, just had the leaders first let me know which individuals on their team they thought would benefit from the program. And they would give me names. I invited them to a dream storm. And that was my first core group.
Oh, so cool. I love it. It's always interesting when people are resistant to doing something like a dream storm and to writing down their dreams and to sharing with each other. And then it just it's so energizing. You get so jazzed about seeing the possibilities.
I have more fun in the dream storm just because, you can do pretty much anything just because you've got to get those juices flowing, right? And you've got to get people past that skepticism of, okay, what's this? What do you mean? Write my dreams down. And it's just been a really, I feel like I grow each time that I do the dream storm. And just to see the look on individual faces it's like having a whole family of kids there that you're just investing in.
Aw, that's awesome. So you have been coaching your team members, lots of dreams being achieved. Let's talk about the impact. What are some of the dreams that are being achieved and how it's impacting the lives of your team members?
Oh, sure. So right now, I'm working with about 35 individuals. I've already graduated 14 dreamers from the program. We started back in 2024. And so I've graduated 14 dreamers. And out of those 14 dreamers, I have 6 that are going to be moving into the second year of the program.
Amazing.
Which is just amazing. I've also gotten, Kate, what's really been great is we have a lot of different departments and we have remote locations. I've been able to present it to each of the departments and actually have individuals from each department invested in the program right now. I'll travel down to Austin or San Antonio to meet with those offices because that face-to-face, I prefer that face-to-face just because I like being in person with the individual. And I know that that can't always happen. So we do team meetings also. But, going through it, we've got, oh my gosh, thinking about the dreams that have been accomplished, Kate, every dream is special to that person. So I couldn't sit here and honestly tell you which was the very best one or the most impactful to me. Because we've had everything from an individual being afraid of dogs, where I actually brought my own dogs into the office and we worked together to get her to finally touch, feel, hold that dog. And then we've had everything from weddings, wedding planning, solo vacations, got many people that have completed their first 5K runs. 11 of the individuals in the program have since been promoted to leadership positions.
Wow.
After going through the program, which has been amazing. And I work with individuals who are trying to find coping mechanisms for their spouses who have PTSD. The spectrum is so wide, and I think we all know that, right? Everybody has things that happen in their lives that we aren't exactly coped or equipped to deal with. But being able to sit with somebody and just express those and then start really digging deep into, okay, what do you need to do as an individual? How can you become that best version so that you can help your spouse through those PTSD episodes? Or how can you be that better version so that when you get married, you're giving your spouse the best that you can? And so it's, the list goes on.
And I know there might be someone listening now that's like, wow, that sounds like a lot. Like, I'm not a therapist. I don't so let's talk about, because you're coach, like Dream Manager this is a coaching program. So
yes.
While you deal with a lot of, these are people's dreams and lives, and they share some of the challenges with you, right? Like, it can be very emotional, but we're not here to provide advice like that. You're here to coach them so that they can find the right resources to support them in whatever journey they're on.
Exactly. Yep. It's been great to see, right? When you're able to help individuals find those resources, it makes a big impact on their lives. Yeah. And then they can now concentrate on, okay, what do they need to work on themselves, right? So when we talk about the rhythm of life, right? Finding ways to get themselves in a position where they feel like things are moving in the right direction in all four of those areas is what we do, right? We help them get that understanding and help them find ways to invest in themselves.
When you started working with people, were you nervous? And like the first few sessions, like how many sessions did it take for you to feel like, okay, I can handle all the things that are going to be thrown my way?
I would say the first time going through each session, so I'd say probably about 6 months in, I really started feeling the groove. I really started feeling more comfortable. I felt like my nervousness wasn't causing them to be nervous. About 6 months. And then, of course, going through each of the 12 sessions, the first time you go through the session is always a little nerve-wracking, making sure that you say the right things or understand the material. Once you believe in it, Kate, it becomes part of your DNA and it just becomes natural.
Yeah. One of the other, we already mentioned the simplicity. Matthew was very intentional when he created the curriculum to make sure that if you care about people, you can't mess this up, right? You go through the questions and you invite people. It's really about asking great questions. And for them, you're really empowering these people. So I find it very interesting and incredible that there were 11 people that had gone through the program that actually ended up getting promoted. How did that feel? And do you think that the Dream Manager had a part in that?
I think it did. I think it had a part in it to a certain extent where some of these individuals worked through things that were holding them back. And so, yes, it gave them that confidence, knowing that they could believe in themselves and believe that they are skilled to take on that next position. Some of them were newly promoted within the 6 months, but I think really just the Dream Manager program can benefit people in so many different ways. It's just hard to say what the Dream Manager program does not impact.
Yeah, everything. It's everything. It's all part of life.
It's everything. We talked about challenges, and we talked about, yes, when I sit down with individuals, they understand that I'm there to help encourage and support them. And I'm not a therapist, but if they need extra help, we'll find those resources for them. One of the challenges that I also find, Kate, is like with budgeting. Our mobile phones, everybody does everything on here. But so few people in the program actually understand budgeting and how that plays a part in their life and where their money goes. And so it's, working with individuals like that has just been so gratifying, because I've got dreamers that come back and say, hey, Toni, my parents asked me how to do a budget. And they went back and they taught their parents how to. We've got people that are now saving money, going towards their first home. They're saving money for their children's college funds. The program, Matthew did make it simple. As a matter of fact, when I did a dream storm with a group of sales managers, they said, well, this is almost elementary, Toni. And I says, yeah. And won't it be fun? Right? Because it's not hard. I'm going to give you homework every month. And they sort of look at you like, what? Yeah, you're going to have homework, and you're going to have to bring that homework back to me, and we're going to grade it. But we make it fun, and we make it so that even though it's simple, it's so impactful because you're really reaching the core of that individual.
Yeah. We live in a society where we kind of glamorize complexity. We value complexity because we think things need to be challenging, when really it's getting back to the basics. It's actually caring about, like you said, it's crazy how many people have never sat down, just do a budget, just like a very simple budget.
Simple budget.
Same thing with like your time and energy. What I love so much about this program is it helps people recognize that, yes, there are so many things in the world that we cannot control, but you know what? There's a lot more that we can control than we give ourselves credit for. And you're allowing, or you're inviting people to really take ownership of where they are, and then say, okay, if you want to be here a year from now or 6 months from now, these are the steps that you're going to take. And then you, as the dream manager, get to hold them accountable to actually doing the work.
Yeah, it's so true. My daughter actually has gone through the program as well. She's one of my graduates, and she used to be a school teacher. And so when we got to talking, and at the end of it, she says, Mom, this is just a phenomenal program. It's so valuable, but yet so easy to just look at it and say, yeah, I want to become better. I want to invest in myself. And it's incredible seeing some of these individuals come in, and their book is, they've got all sorts of things written down. They've got their Rhythm of Life book with things circled and underlined. This stood out to me. And the program is so easy to work through. And it's just a matter of really getting buy-in from your leadership to say, hey, let's do this. Let's invest the time and the money into giving our people an opportunity to grow as individuals. Because as they grow as individuals, we all know our business is only as good as our people are. And if we give that to our people and pour it into them, imagine how your business is going to grow. When I started, there were like 9 employees. We have over 300 employees now. And I've only hit a few of them so far. So I'm looking forward to the next several years.
So let's talk a little bit about the skills that you're seeing. Like, what are some of the skills that you think are developed by going through this program that people can, it's not only for them to achieve their dreams, but they're showing up at work differently. They're being more strategic. Like, how does that feel now with the people that you've worked with?
Hey, that priority exercise that we teach them in the second session it's phenomenal. It's very simple, right? But teaching them how to put things in priority, starting off with, okay, what are the 6 areas that you want to travel around the world, what countries, but showing them how then they can use that priority exercise with their things to do at work. How do you prioritize things at work? How do you prioritize? Everybody's schedule is busy, busy. And it's when you hear that comment all the time, walking through the hallways, I never have time. There's so much to do. I'm never going to get it all done. But you can get it all done and you can prioritize it. And teaching them that, they go back to work at their desks and it's like, okay, this is what I need to do. And they are applying that. They're applying communication skills, right? Relational skills. How does my personality profile align with my team? And how do I learn how to relate to them and help them work on their opportunities of growth while they're working on their own opportunities of growth? It's almost as if they're replicating what they learn in the program with their own people in small ways. They're helping them to start realizing how it can benefit them at work. So, yeah, it's, the achievements, the productivity levels. Like I said, communications is such a big part with anybody's job. And to see these individuals learn about the 7 rhythm of life, the 7 levels of intimacy and how they can grow their relationships with their team members, but also their leaders, the CEO of the company, their community. It's, the list goes on.
Yeah. And you earlier mentioned confidence, just the confidence level of people, because once you empower people to go after their dreams and then they achieve them, instantly they're like, oh, wait a sec, I can do this. They start to see their lives differently. They do become more confident. And I love that you're kind of touching on all the different areas of the different sessions that we go through during the program. And so when we're fed new content, of course it impacts us, it influences us. And then we want to share it, even if we don't realize we're sharing it, right? We're like, oh, I learned this, or this is something, how I view things. And so you're able to take that with you at home and at work. Toni, how would you say, what was like before Dream Manager and after Dream Manager? What are some of the differences that you're seeing at the company?
I'm seeing more connectivity with coworkers. I'm seeing them share their experiences. I give them a trophy after they graduate from the program, and that now has become the trophy of the company. It's like, how do I get one of those? And knowing that they have to go through the Dream Manager program. So those individuals are actually promoting the program as well. But I think what the impact is, Kate, is from before the Dream Manager and after is it's a common word in the organization, right? It's not, what is Dream Manager? It's, I want to know more about the Dream Manager program, right? And how can I get involved in it? And, they talk to their managers, am I able to take an hour to spend every month with Toni in the Dream Manager program? And they go and request that on their own. And so it's, when we talk about culture, right, it plays right into what we want culture to be like. We want our people to enjoy coming to work. We don't want them to come into the work and dread opening the door and going to their area, right? We want them to feel energized and excited, knowing that when they come through the door, they're going to be able to help the business. Their thoughts, their suggestions, their ideas will be valued because now they have that confidence to show what they're made out of. It's a win-win.
Yes, totally. Absolutely. I love it. All right. So for somebody, if there's a leader that's thinking, I don't know, Toni, I don't know if this is really worth the investment. I have to have a Dream Manager. It's like, it's a whole new thing that we need to implement. I'm not sure. What advice would you give to someone who's kind of on the fence?
I would tell them that they need to go through a session to see how it really can impact people. We say that there's work-life balance, but I'm of the opinion that those two meld together. And as a leader, If you want your people to really grow and thrive at what they're doing, you cannot afford not to do the Dream Manager program or something like it, right? You've got to invest in your employees at that personal level. If your employees have personal satisfaction, they're going to come to work and get professional satisfaction as well. Allowing them to grow and thrive is something that our company just firmly believes in. Our culture has gone up because individuals have that feeling that they're cared for, that they mean something. And when life is tough at home and you come to work, you want them to feel like this is a good place to come, that you can be yourself and still be productive, but be valued. I would say just take people through leaders. As a matter of fact, we have some new leaders here. And one of my goals for the first quarter or this last quarter of the year is to take those leaders through the Dream Manager program so that they can see what it's all about as well. They may not want to join it, but I want them to have their people join it.
Yeah. Well, they'll at least be curious about it and think, I mean, everyone needs a dream manager. You know, everyone just needs a dream manager. So,
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my gosh. All right, Toni, do you have a dream? Is there a dream that you're working towards over the next 12 months?
You know, I'll tell you what. I had a dream. You see that yellow car on the poster
you know what? I
behind me?
do see. I saw that earlier. I was like, I wonder if that's a dream of hers.
That was a dream of mine. Before I became pregnant, I had a Nissan 300ZX. It was a little white car, and I loved it. But of course, I got pregnant, and my husband and I said, no, a car seat's not going to fit. So now, this has been a dream of mine since my daughter was born, and she is now 30. She'll be 37 next year. And I went out and got me a 300Z sport car.
Yes.
But actually, Kate, one of my biggest dreams is to have this program be my legacy at Expo Home Improvement. Yeah. That is one of my dreams that I'm very sincere about. I am at the age where I could retire. I know I don't look it. No.
You don't? No.
But my husband has been retired, and he at some point wants me to retire. And I told him, how do you retire from this position? But at some point when I do, when the time comes, when I know it's right that I'll retire, I want this to be my legacy. I want this program to continue to thrive and grow. It would break my heart if it didn't. It's that important to me. That's one of my dreams.
Wow. I have no doubt that will happen because you are the exact right person to be able to do that. And that just warms my heart so much that is one of your legacy dreams. Oh my gosh, I love it so much.
Thank you. This program impacts everybody throughout the organization. And I tell my dreamers when they come in and we talk and then they leave, we always give them a hug. And I tell them that when they thank me, Kate, I say, no, thank you. Thank you for taking the time to invest. And thank you for trusting me to help, work through this with you. I can't imagine my life without it.
Oh my gosh. It is such, you are a gift. You are a gift to your team. The team is a gift to you. This is exactly you. This is what everyone needs in their company. They need a Toni.
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know if they could handle that.
You need a Toni in your organization. And what's great is that I think there are some people listening that they have someone, they have someone that would be just as excited and just as passionate about the program. That's what we see with all of our dream managers. I just get so excited that all of you just really care so deeply about the program and talking about it and helping more leaders find it and discover it. And of course, all your team members to go through it. And so we are here to help you however we can to support your dream of creating that legacy at Expo Home Improvement. We are all about it. And Toni, thank you so much for coming on the show. You're so awesome.
Oh, Kate, no, thank you. Thank you. The feelings are mutual.
Toni, thank you so much. You are awesome. And thank you all so much for listening. If you are not inspired to become a dream manager or to implement the dream manager or to hire a dream manager, like we all, again, we just, every single person, all of us, we all need dream managers. We need that person in our life that's going to encourage us and be our cheerleader and hold us accountable to our dreams. And so we would love the opportunity to talk to you about that. And as always, thank you so much for listening. And until next time, lead with culture.